Test 1 2 3. Hi guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial. Today we're gonna build some procedural shader landscape bullshit stuff. If you are a new subscriber, I build Blender tutorials. 100 subscribers, let's go. PewDiePie, I'm gonna catch you. Now, I am in Blender. This is just part 1. On the second part, we're gonna figure out the materials. But now we're gonna build this tree procedural stuff. Now, I am in Blender. I'm gonna select this cube by the left click X and delete. Shift A on the measure, I'm gonna choose plane. S and move the mouse to scale this to make it bigger. Now, select this plane and click tab and right click and click subdivide and subdivide this by the 100 and click enter and once again click tab. You must change the engine to the cycles and bring the values down, and you have bullshit PC like I am, and add denoiser. Now I'm gonna right here change this to the shader editor, and I'm gonna select my plane and click new, and wait guys, I try to zoom in, bullshit mouse. Now I'm gonna make it bigger because it's fucking frustrating me. Now just go to this material tab and you must change, of course, on the settings, bump only, change this maybe to displays only, why not. And we're gonna build some trees right here on this material bullshit stuff. Shift A, search for the displacement and just connect this to the displacement right here. Shift A, search for the brick texture, because we're gonna connect this brick texture color to the height. Wait guys, I mentioned this tree in this city shader, but we're gonna build more to this, okay? Shift A, search for the noise texture, sorry, and connect, color to this factor right here. And basically, if you wanna keep simple, this is the tree. And if you're gonna, I suggest to bring on this noise texture scale to 1. Okay, and you can play around on the scale on the brick texture, and right here on this last one on this brick texture, you're gonna have different results on your landscapes. But we're gonna add more to this, so Shift A, search of course for the mapping. Connect this to this noise texture and Shift A, textures coordinate, and connect right here. Drag this to the mapping. Now, like I said, this is the simplest version, the simple version of this tree. I'm gonna add more. So Shift A, search for the mix RGB, and just drag this right here to disconnect this noise texture to this brick, yes? And I'm gonna duplicate this, so select this, mix RGB, Shift D, and just drag right here to disconnect brick texture to the displacement. Basically, you cutting off, and it's cool effect for me, okay? You don't have to, like I said, add those stuff, but you just cutting this stuff by the factor right here, because you just right here don't have another texture, so you just cutting this stuff. Okay, whatever. Shift A, we're gonna add color ramp. Wait guys, Shift A, color ramp. Fuck fuck my PC. Okay, Shift A, color ramp. Can I add? Right here, thank you. Now, and just drag this to disconnect this mix RGB, and you can drag this black to cut more of the blacks of this noise texture, because basically noise texture is values, white and black, whatever. I'm not gonna go to this complicated math. But you just cut a little bit of this, blacks. You can cut more, whatever you want, but this is the tree. And what we can add to this, we can duplicate this noise texture, Shift D, and you can connect this noise texture to the factor right here on this mix RGB that connect the displacement to brick texture. Yes, so you can connect this to the factor, and basically what this do, this just have this kind of bump effect, this noise effect on the surface. Yes, and you can play around with this stuff, whatever. And what we can add to this tree, you don't have to do this, like I said. Shift A on the texture, search for this vanilla texture or whatever it's called, fuck my English, Venoy texture, and just connect the color to the second color of this mix RGB. And you, if you wanna play around, you're gonna play around, like I said. I'm gonna maybe, explain a little bit. Basically, you're changing on the rotation stuff, you're changing of course on the location and on the scale right here on this mapping. On this noise texture, you're changing a little bit too right here on this distortion. Okay, I suggest not, play around on the scale too much. Don't bring this to 10 or to 100, because you're gonna have very noisy landscape. It looks like shit. You're just cutting right here on this color ramp and on this mix, of course, and on this brick texture on the scale, you're changing the landscapes, of course, and on those two parameters right here, roof height and whatever brick, you just, if you wanna play around, you're gonna have different results. And right here you have the noise, this kind of noisy surface. You can play right here on the scale and on the distortion too, and add of course detail. And on this Vanoy texture on the scale, you can change right here to play around, and you're gonna have different results if you're gonna play right here scale, whatever. This is the tree, this is just the beginner, okay, beginning, fuck. I'm gonna rage. This is just the beginning of this tutorial, strange tutorial. Build this tree if you want. If you wanna keep it simple, just add noise texture, brick texture, and displacement, and you can play. And you're gonna have different results. And I suggest, like I said, on this first noise, scale to 1 add. Okay, don't play around like 100. You're gonna have noisy shit. This is the tree. On the second, tomorrow maybe we're gonna figure out the materials to have more control of the materials, and we're gonna build this shader to have, control of this stuff. Thank you for watching this strange tutorial. See you on the next video.